Hey everybody. Just noticed my Serpae Tetras over here are dashing around more than usual. They're usually fairly sedate in the tank. They just kind of do their thing, looking around for food, floating around, being fish. But whenever you see them darting and dashing and dancing around like this, it's usually pre-spawning behavior. I'm not going to try to move the camera around in an attempt to keep getting the behavior on video. I wind up making everybody seasick and not ever really getting any good video anyway. So the bulk of the activity seems to be going on down here at this end of the tank, which is fairly open and gives everybody room to swim around a little bit. Once we start getting down this way, it gets a lot more leafy and crowded. But one thing that I think is worth noting is the intensity of the red and black on the males. If you look at them, they're really, really crimson red, and their black is much more pronounced than it normally is. They're usually a beautiful shade of red, but they're usually a bright red. They're not this dark sort of crimson color that they are now, and I've noticed that that is also apparently spawning colors. Now, I also don't notice if you can tell I have a mix of the long fins, which is right there. This one's giving us a nice, beautiful example of what the long fins look like. And then, of course, I also have some regular old Serpae Tetras in here. I didn't know about the long fins until after I'd already bought several of the Serpaes. Just the red miners is what they're usually sold as their common name. And then a week later, I saw the long-finned red miners. And of course I went back and I got some more and added them to the tank, and they really are an attractive fish. I recommend them, but only if you're in a situation where you don't have fish like angelfish, for example. I know this is my angelfish tank, but had I known these Serpaes were as fin nippy as they are, I would never have put them in here with my angelfish. It's not a huge problem. My angelfish aren't really suffering necessarily, but the Serpaes definitely harass them at times. And we'll take a brief look over here at one of my angelfish. If you look at my male albino red eye, he used to have beautiful caudal filaments off of his anal fin and his dorsal fin, predominantly off of his anal fin though, and it trailed a good 2 inches behind him. It was an absolutely beautiful little dorsal or anal filament there, anal fin filament. And it's gone, I believe this one, my German blue over here, which is also male, also had the filament on the anal fin, and it too is gone. So that degree of nipping is not really that much of an issue. I wouldn't put gouramis and the Serpaes in the same tank. The gouramis have that modified ventral fin that they use more like a feeler than a fin. Not only is that long and delicate and just sort of hangs out there as a tempting target, but it's also something the gouramis use. It's sort of like the equivalent of if you cut a cat's whiskers off. It's not going to kill the cat, but it definitely messes them up. They really rely on those whiskers as for sensory input. It would be like you walking around with your eyes closed or something. So with the gouramis, it's the same way. Those ventral fins, those filaments that they use as feelers, are really important for gouramis. So I would not take the chance on mixing the Serpaes or any other sort of nippy type fish, like a tiger barb or something. I wouldn't really take a chance. That's why I'm not going to put my male gourami that's currently in my quarantine tank. I'm not going to put him in my tank that's got the tiger barbs in it just yet. I'm going to wait and sort that out. They're not going to go in the same tank together. Angelfish, however, don't need that caudal filament for anything. It's not a caudal filament. It's the anal fin filament. And it doesn't serve any purpose other than decoration as far as I can tell. So having that nipped off, it is the fins being nipped. It is an open injury of sorts. Could lead to secondary infections or something like that. But again, with the degree of nipping, it's so minor, no pun intended, that I'm not too worried about it. If I was actually noticing chunks of fin missing, or that the shapes of the fin were being damaged, then I would have to do something about it. But the way things are, I don't worry too much about it. However, having said all that, I won't do it again. You know, when these red Serpaes are gone, I will not be adding any more back to the tank unless I've got no more angelfish in here, which I don't foresee that happening either. I do like the red fish in the tank. I do like the red coloration, so when these are gone, I will probably have to try to find something to replace them. Maybe put a bunch of cherry barbs in the tank. I've never had a lot of luck with the cherry barbs, though, so not sure. We'll see. At any rate, I just wanted to get a few minutes of video to show you how impressive and stunning these Serpaes can be, especially when they get in there and they're doing their spawning display and they've got those full colors, you know, on show like that. They're just absolutely gorgeous little fish. A lot of activity, splash of color, a lot of fun, and they're different. You don't see these real super commonly in people's tanks, despite the fact that they're a very common fish. I got these at the big chain store for, you know, $2.49 a piece. Actually, I got these on sale for $1 a piece, but the big chain pet store near me has not run any sales like that since last autumn. Actually, before Black Friday last year was the last time they had any kind of like dollar sales on fish. So who knows, next time they have one, I'll come home with a whole bunch of neons, or we'll bring a bunch of something home that I can put in one of my tanks. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe. You never know what you're going to get with me. This is my Angelfish tank, and I will be keeping you updated if I actually do get any official spawning, as in, you know, egg-laying behavior in these Serpaes here, or red miners, whatever you want to call them. So again, make sure you're subscribed. This is my Angelfish tank. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you real soon on the next one.